Various methods are available to blend multiple exposure images. Among them, this is one of my best. So here I have a landscape image. I have three variants. First one is the highlights is fully recovered and the shadows and midtones are crushed. The second one is midtones preserved, shadows a little bit crushed and highlights a little bit blown away. And the last one is shadows fully preserved, highlights completely blown away. I always do this in this order, and the first one will be the brightest image, that is the shadows. So they have exposed for the shadows, hence the image will be brighter. And the second one is midtones, and the last one is the darker one, which preserves the highlight. So let's turn off the highlights for now. Let's go to midtones. Let's click the layer mask button. While the layer mask is selected, go to image, apply image. I'll uncheck the preview for now. So source, it's the document. I have not saved this document, so it's showing untitled one. The layer merged. Merged in the sense the all three layers are merged and takes it as a source to project onto the layer mask. Channel is RGB. We are going to use all the channels, and blending mode default multiply and opacity at 100%. I'll check on the preview and I'll click OK. So what does apply image do is, with the multiply blend mode, it takes the brighter areas from the merged image and make it white, as you see here on the sky and blown out parts, and takes darker areas from the merged image and make it black. So it creates a mask. Because of this, we are able to see the midtones and the shadows that are well exposed in the below layer as well. So that is what the apply image does with the multiply blend mode, and we will do the same for the highlights. I'll turn on the highlights layer and I'll create a mask. Then again I'll go to apply image. It does the same thing. We are leave it on the same settings. We are going to click OK. This time it looks a little washed up because it merged both these layers, this masked layer as well, and took reference from it. Hence it looks a little weird and dark. Hence we could not bring out the highlights properly. So what we can do is, we can manipulate the layer mask using curves or levels. Just click on the layer mask, press Ctrl L, it brings out the levels adjustment layer, or cancel it, Ctrl M, you can bring out the curves, or just go here, images, adjustments and curves. Before bringing out the curves, I would like to see this as layer mask mode. I'll press Alt and select the layer mask. It will show us the black and white. Whatever the changes we do in layer mask, it reflects here in the black and white and gray. I'll go to images, adjustments, curves. So I want the sky to be recovered from the highlights layer. So I want all this area to be brighter. So I'll select the darkest part here and I'll just lift it up until most of them are white. I think this will do. So now we can see the difference. Now this looks great, right? But I feel like the grass looks a little bit darker because the grass is darker on the highlights layer. Let me show you. So the grass is very dark in the highlights layer. In the layer mask, it's not completely black. Hence, the grass takes its luminance from the highlights layer. Hence, it looks a little dark. I don't want it to be dark. I'll just paint black on it. I'll take the brush. I'll press B. I'll take the brush, and I set the opacity at around 3%. I'll take the black and I'll just paint on a little bit. Now it looks fantastic, isn't it? We will see what else we can do with this apply image. For now, I'll create some contrast. I'll go on here, I'll create curves adjustment layer. I'll take the highlights a notch a little bit and I'll take the shadows a bit. That's enough. Okay, this looks good. This area is blown out, but I don't mind that. That's the look I'm going for. I usually create a color lookup table. Now I created a color lookup table and I'm checking which candlelight. Candlelight is one of my favorite, but today I'm not going to use this. This is what I've been expecting, crisp, warm, but it's too much. I'll adjust the opacity a little bit. I'll take it to 0, then I'll add a little bit. So it also influences my grass and the trees, which I do not want. So we can we can select the layer mask and go to apply image. Now the trees and the grass are a little bit darker in the layer mask, hence it takes away the color lookup from the grass and the trees. It looks natural. It does not create any artifacts or anything like that. It's just gradually moves from black to gray, not again black. Now I'm going to color grade this image with gradient map. I'll create a gradient map adjustment layer. First I'll select the blend mode to soft light, then I'll reduce the opacity to around 45%. I'll readjust it if required later. Then I'll go here, I'll click on this, it'll open up a new dialog box. From there we can choose multiple gradients, but that's not we are looking for right now. There is a drop down menu called type. We can go in there and select noise instead of solid. So what it does is it gives random colors in the gradient, but it's very harsh, so that we can reduce the roughness a little bit. I'll usually go for 30. You can see this is what this roughness decides. If it's at 100, each colors does not have any transition. It will be rough chopped up pieces, and as you reduce the roughness, the transition between the colors will gradually vary, getting softer and softer. If I bring it out to 0, there will be only 2 colors. 30% is my go-to value. So in the gradient map, there is another option called randomize. If you click on randomize, it creates different colors. That's why this video's thumbnail is going to be different from what I'm creating here. So if I click random, it will create different colors of variations. This is looking good. I can play with opacity and I'll make some changes. Same here, I don't want the colors to affect the tree and the grass, so I'll just press Alt and click on this layer mask, and I'll take it and put it on there. So this makes a duplicate. When you press Alt and move anything, it creates a duplicate. Can you see here? There's shadows copy. So that's what Alt does. So when I pressed Alt and I clicked on this layer mask, it's duplicated. I dragged it and put it on my gradient map. Now it looks good. Now I'm going to add some saturation to the tree and the grass. I'm going to go hue saturation, and I'm going to increase the saturation a bit. Just look at the grass and the tree. Do not look at the sky. We will mask it out later. I think this is a proper value. As I did before, click on this layer mask, press Alt and drag this layer mask to the hue saturation layer. Somehow my computer does not show it right away, so I need to once again I need to click turn off and turn it on. So now the mask is affecting the sky only, but I want it to affect the tree and the grass. So what I'll do, I'll invert the mask. So if I invert the mask, the tree will become colorful, tree and the grass will become colorful, and the saturation will not affect the skies. It will, but it will gradually fade away. It will not be heavier like how it looks right now. I'll click on the mask. I'll just press Ctrl I. So the mask is inverted. I'll show you the before and after. So now grass and the tree looks a little more vibrant. So this is how we can add many more effect, color fine tuning, and we can use gradients, and we can again do camera or filter. We can do many fine tunings, but for this tutorial I'm stopping here now. I think this looks great. I don't have any issues with it. Unless I zoom in and started pixel peeping, I'll notice something. So that's all for now. I'm gonna leave.